Everyone, we are here with director Josh Forbes and
Hello.
actors Jonah Ray Rodrigues and Alex Winter. And they have a new movie coming out this Friday called Destroy All Neighbors. It's insane. Everyone, how's it going?
Simply put, it's insane. The reviews are in.
Someone,
It's
yeah,
insane.
this movie needs a welfare check. Yeah, this movie is a danger to itself and others. Yeah.
Help others. Jeez. So, okay, Josh, let's start with you. How'd you
Yo.
get involved with the project?
Well, I had a crazy neighbor. My buddy Charlie had a crazy neighbor. We both fantasized about various ways of killing our said neighbors, and instead of doing so, we decided to be creative and put it into a script. And the long journey, but we found Jonah Ray, and he was the perfect person for this movie, and it just evolved from there. And then at a certain point, we found this box of like really compromising photographs of Alex Winter, and so I don't know, no, but we asked Alex to join the band, and after much dismay, he jumped on board, and I don't know, it's a long tale, but you know
I've
it
got
happened.
15 minutes. No.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
so you mentioned that were you involved with the writing at all? Because you're not listed as far as one of the writers.
No, but but if I was at a bar and you were a lady, I would tell you it's all me. No,
100%.
no, but I feel like I had a hand in it, as far as shaping it, but also, I mean, Jonah did a lot of, and Alex too. Like, I think it was definitely like a stone soup situation where, I very much come from that comedy background of just like, hey, best joke wins. I
Yeah,
don't.
the room always decides with that stuff. So I mean, we had like a great script by Charlie Piper and Mike Benner. Jared Logan came in and made it super super funny. And then like of course it's like as you're kind of going through it and we're running through the stuff, it's like we like have joke pitches and we have moments we want to do and stuff like that. And so
Yeah, it's not one of those kinds of movies that someone hands someone a script and then you show up on set and you act in it and you go. I mean, it's this is like punk rock indie film land, and that's part of the spirit that the film is written in. It's how it's made. It's all of our sensibilities. That's kind of what we have in common.
Yeah.
And that's what I wanted to sign on for. It wasn't. I mean, it wasn't like I
Mhm.
didn't know that. I've known Jonah for a bit, and I know what Josh's background and the type of work he's done, and so this is one of those movies that you kind of all roll up your sleeves and go to town on for all of prep and sort of well before the shoot happened.
Well, yeah, that was to me. It was more like a prog rock movie. Um,
There you go.
you know,
It kind of is, yeah. I mean, it
only
definitely is.
because it just you guys threw everything in there and just did it, and it was great.
Mhm.
John, you tell me about your character, William.
yeah, William is the worst aspects of like myself and friends of mine that make me angry. The and it's like when you're in showbiz and or any kind of like creative field, you'll like run into people that just like they're like, yeah, I would do the thing, but I just need this other thing. You hear a lot of once this, then that, or if this, then I can and you realize it's just self-sabotage. You're just getting your own way. It's your anxiety starts to get the best of you. Your ADHD like starts to make it so you can't like you have this idea and this thing you want to try and pull off, but you can't chunk it down and figure it out. And what happens is like it's if you don't really address the things that are making you do that, you become insufferable to everyone around you, and the only
Yeah.
action that you will ever like see like in your life is only forced upon you in the worst way. And so with William, it's like he means well, but he kind of got locked into this kind of headspace when he was in his 20s, and now he's like as he's getting into his 30s, he's realizing it's not practical in a real world setting when you're like becoming an adult.
Yeah. Well, yeah, indeed. Um,
Which leads to mass homicide in every case.
In every
well,
You
case, yeah,
basically,
yeah.
yeah. Well,
accidental.
I
Accidental,
mean,
yes, exactly. Mass
his
manslaughter.
character,
Yeah.
it reminds me a lot of like, high fidelity. Like when I first saw High Fidelity, I was like, this dude is awesome. you should judge everyone by their record collection. This guy's doing it right. And then like I watched it again, I was like, oh no, like he sucks.
Yeah, he is the villain.
I see myself in him so much, but it's like you can't, it's lame to just like
So Alex, let's talk about Vlad. Who the hell is this guy?
Vlad is a tender soul, sensitive, tender fella.
Yeah, picking that up.
Yeah. Look, I mean, it's, fun thing with characters like this is you get to build a person. You go from the script and who's there and what that person needs to do and what you think led him to do those things. And that's where the character comes from. And, we all talked about it. Jonah and I talked about it. Like, I didn't want to be a cartoon character. The film is actually, oddly enough, quite grounded given the crazy stuff that happens. And, so I just went and found a guy that built someone that felt three-dimensional for me, so I could play him. So he's a lot of fun. The great thing about working in prosthetics, it's very liberating. It's very theatrical. Even if you're playing with a grounded character, you really can just kind of go into almost an altered state. And that's what I really enjoy about doing this kind of work. And I'm talking specifically about physical comedy prosthetic stuff, because I mean, you couldn't show up on a Star Wars movie and do that. They'd fire you instantly. But that's what this movie is. So like, that's to me, Vlad is obviously he's kind of like Will's id, which is another fun thing to play. So you just have to, that's sort of almost like a trickster or jester type characters. Those are the most fun to play. To Jonah's point, I mean, he's talked about, being the straight man in this, so I would argue it's a little different because he actually gets to kill lots of people. But, even when I did Freaked, even when we were writing it was like, I always wanted to play Elijah. I didn't actually want to play Ricky at any point, because Elijah gets to do all the really fun stuff. And that's like my favorite stuff to do. So this was like my opportunity to play more of that kind of character.
And where did that accent come from? What was that?
A very specific region in Romania, believe it or not. It took an enormous amount of work, but my family is Romanian, so I had some specific family members in mind that I could work from, and then I just went and worked on it from there.
That's phenomenal. There were so many amazing, weird little moments going on. Is there a particular one for any of you that just stands out where you're like, oh my God, that one, we nailed that one?
I so don't think that way. I'm not the we nailed that one guy.
Right.
I'm like, are we going to make the day? Are we going to get to shoot this shot? Yeah.
I mean, I think even the fan blade that has the Vlad hands on it, that was just one of those things that like was in an early version of the script, and we're like, how are we going to do this? How are we going to pull this off? And then seeing the actual hands on the fan blades, I was like, this is fucking awesome. This is like Christmas. You know what I mean? This is so great.
That was practical too?
Yeah. I mean, there was some some digital trickery happening, but like,
but not much. I mean, it's all, even like the blanket, like it's all pretty in camera, other than sticking my face on it. I mean, it's very in camera. I mean, for me, because it's the finale was something I was not like, pessimistic about, but concerned about, just given our ambition. And I wasn't like we nailed it though. I mean, there were aspects of watching Jonah perform where I'd be like, well, he nailed this or that. You do that with other actors. But the finale, I really did feel when we got that was going to work really well. And sort of the interaction and some very last minute ideas, like even little things like the wardrobe that Jonah's wearing, which got a huge laugh the other night at the premiere, which made me so happy. Just like lots of little touches that happened at the last minute that worked really well.
That was a
lot of amazing inserts that like my buddy Ryan Spindell, who's an amazing director, the Mortuary Collection. And we have Bill Watterson, who did Dave Made a Maze. Like, we had these great guys, but Ryan, like the last minute, he did a second unit thing where he was like all those awesome little details of like little inserts of the intestines playing the drums and stuff. Like that was all Ryan. It was just like, again, it had that feeling of like, we are, I don't know, we're all putting on a show together, and we're, you know, we're on this runaway train, and we're just laying as much track in front of us as we can.
What
It was
were
a
you
blast. Yeah.
I'm sorry, what?
what were you about to say?
Oh, yeah, I mean, like, it's like, you know, that was the thing about, like, you know, like we were all so like stretched thin with just trying to get this made, like, you know, and to the thing about that costume, it's like Aofi, like who was, you know, our costume designer, did a great job, but like I was like, it needs more, it's
Yeah.
like, you know, like, he's like, but I don't have time, I have to do these other things. And then, like, I remember we wrapped for the day, and then I just like quickly drove over to a Michael's or a Joanne's Fabrics, and then like was just like looking for shiny stuff to make a cape out of, and then different cloths. And then like I was like, oh, and then I remember like the guns we got for that final scene. I was like, they don't have laser pointers on them. We're supposed to have laser pointers. So I went next door to the Petco. I went to the Petco and then got a bunch of like laser pointers that were mainly for the cats that we had to like put them on for the guns the next day. Like, you know, that's like when I'm making any of my own stuff, that's how I do it. I just like whatever it takes. And like, you know, it's and of course in my own style, I forgot to save the receipts, and it's just money that I spent on laser and you know, and cape material. But like, you know, it's like those are the kind of the fun moments where you kind of go, it's like, oh, you just like, do you want, like, you know, do you want to look back and say you did everything you could to like make sure it was as good as what with what you had available to you? And that's always my fun stuff when watch back.
I definitely think it was. Like it was a great way to start 2024.
No, thanks.
Just because I really had no idea what was just about to happen, but like, but I kept wanting to see Vlad poke at William, and poor guy, he just kept taking the bait. So
their chemistry, that relationship. I mean, it's you know, the movie with all the effects and all the, you know, craziness, like it wouldn't work if it wasn't, you know, about these two guys and their
no, yeah, 100%.
hilarious, you know, relationship. I think that's where a lot of like horror comedies go wrong, is they're just like, well, you know, or like Cocaine Bear or something, where it's like, I don't know, we had a lot of people dying in crazy ways, and it's like, yeah, but like I want to see relationships, and I want to see interaction, you know, in a human way.
At the end
and
of
I
the
also want
day,
to see a lot of
story
vomit.
character, I guess. So there you go. Well, gentlemen, I'm being told to wrap it up, but thank you so much for this just completely crazy film. I had a blast with it. And you got Phil Hendry too. My God.
Yeah,
dude.
Damn. Okay.
Yeah.
Everyone, thank you so much for
He's the
the
best.
movie, for taking the time, and I hope to get to talk to you guys again soon.
Great. Thank you so much, Norm.
Let's do it.
All right, man.
That was a lot of fun.
See you guys.